I think the phone makes you look thicker. I think the phone makes you look much wider.
Thank you, Dina.
Right?
You are a great, thank you, you're a great president. You're a great president. I will vote for you next time.
Oh, thank you so much. So 1 year is not enough for you guys?
You just bribed me. You just bribed me.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
No. Good evening.
So what, can we start, Ashraf, Dina, whoever thinks we start or wait?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
Hello and welcome.
Maybe people are praying or something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Let me see who's here. Okay. All right.
Should we start now?
Shall we start? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Can we start? Dina?
Sure, absolutely. If everybody's ready, go ahead.
Okay. Remember the 7th month in summer where guest and member came together to help each other make their lives better. My name is Murad. I am the sergeant at arms with the shining armor of the Cairo Toastmasters Club. My mission is to remind the mission and the rule club. And because I know that you are dying to know what the mission and the rules are, I will state those right now. The mission of the Toastmasters Club is to provide a mutually and positive learning environment in which every individual member has the opportunity to develop oral communication and leadership skills, which in turn foster self-confidence and personal growth. As for the rules, if you have a phone with you, please switch it off, and in vibrating mode, keep it away from. We at Toastmasters don't talk about 3 topics, which are religion, politics, and sex. But if any member has a controversial topic that he would be or she would be interested in presenting, they have the right to approach the executive committee before going ahead in order to get approval. Her heart is a source of generosity. From her mouth, a powerful and clear river of wisdom. Drinking her will make us even more thirsty for knowledge than ever. She's our president. We love her. I would please to give a loud round of applause to our great leader, Dina Abu Saif.
Thank you.
Unmute Dina, please. Whoever can unmute Dina, please do it.
Okay, can everybody hear me now?
Yes, we can. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Murad, thank you so much for this beautiful introduction as always. You just give me a boost to start every introductory remarks with such a huge smile on my face because you're just so genuine and I love that about you. So thank you so much for introducing me so wonderfully. Good evening, everybody. It's good to see you all. Welcome to our guests and welcome to our fellow Toastmasters from other clubs all over the world. It is so good to have you today. Now, today, the theme of the day is creativity. I, of all people, am not creative. So I was thinking to myself what I can possibly say that would do creativity justice. So by show of hands, tell me if you think you're creative. Okay. All right. So I see some people think they're creative, other people not so much. Can everybody still hear me?
Yes.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes, Dina, we
Yeah.
hear you well.
We can.
Okay.
Yes, we
All
can
right.
hear you.
So, all right. Okay. So I'll just go on. So I, like some of you, do not think that I'm creative. And the problem is that naturally, we as human beings are actually extremely, extremely creative, simply because we all have an imagination. And as long as we all have an imagination, we can get creative with our imagination. Besides our imagination, we have our uniqueness. Our uniqueness is one way that we can get creative, because regardless of what the world demands of us, our uniqueness will always help us to stand out in any industry, and it will always make us look special before a community of professionals or personally, because our story is extremely different and unique in every way, shape, and form, and no other person's story can possibly match our own. Now, in our world now, technology is taking over so many industries. And a lot of people are saying, what's the point of being so creative these days? Technology is already taking over and it's doing a great job with creativity. But let me tell you something. We human beings are naturally creative because of our innate curiosity. And there is one thing that we human beings that technology cannot do. There's one thing that we can do that technology cannot do. And that is to creatively communicate, to creatively connect, to creatively understand and build relationships with one another. So this is one thing that we should seize. This is one thing that we should invest in and make the most of. So at the end of the day, we are all creative in our own way. And I know that many people told me before that one way to get creative is to think outside the box. But Chopra, who most of you probably know is an Indian American author, would say, forget thinking outside the box. Just go ahead and get rid of that box altogether. So I am looking forward today to a great meeting on creativity. I'm sure all of us will learn so much from each other. Again, welcome everybody, and I look forward to a great meeting ahead. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Madam President, for that wonderful introduction. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. As a Toastmaster of the Day, it's my responsibility to explain the structure of the meeting. There are three main components of a Toastmasters meeting. The first is the prepared speeches. That's where our members delivering speeches based on their projects from the pathways. In part two, our members will have and guests will have the opportunity to practice their impromptu speaking skills, and this is also known as the table topic sessions. You will be asked a question by the table topic master and will be given a 1 to 2 minutes to answer. If you are a fan of improvisation, you will definitely enjoy that part. In part 3 of our meeting, the general evaluator, Toastmaster Karim Wahdan, will be introducing the evaluators for tonight's meeting. They will give their reports and deliver their evaluation of the meeting as a whole. However, this meeting will do a little bit more. We will try to add our little flavor to our lovely meeting. As Madam Toastmaster said, the theme of the meeting is creativity. And creativity simply is the use of imagination and original ideas to create something. I wish it was that simple for me. For me, it was when I got assigned to a task and I don't know what to do. And I dared to ask how to do that. I got the following answer, blah, 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 blah. You know what? Get creative. Think outside of the box. Oh my God, I will. Just tell me how. Raise your hands if you had a similar situation, or don't if you always know what to do. Okay, are you hearing me well? Okay, I see a lot of professionals and over there and a lot of hands the other side. Okay, that's great. Let me stop you there, and we will get back to that. But now, one of my duties, duties as a Toastmaster of the day is to introduce the rule periods or the tag team who will assist me during today's session. Okay, to keep track of the time spent by each speaker, please help me welcome our timer for today, Toastmaster Alia. When I asked her about the things she does to come up with creative ideas, she said what? Yes, oh. I quote, I usually think with myself to come up with creative ideas, but sometimes I also consult others, ask for their opinions and suggestions. Same applies to solving problems. If I feel stuck, I ask others whom I trust, who are pretty close to me, and who may have experienced a similar problem before, or have experienced a lot in life in general, which I can benefit from. Okay, Toastmaster Alia, please explain your rule.
Thank you, our awesome Toastmaster of the day. Great seeing you all here and having you all with us as usual. So, before I begin my role, I'd just like to start with a quick quote by a wise poet who once said, if you can't be a highway, then just be a trail. If you can't be the sun, be a star. It isn't by size that you win or you fail. Be the best of whatever you are. And I'm sure we're all here to be the best of whatever we are. As timer, I'll be keeping track of time of 3 segments. The first one is the prepared speeches segment. Each prepared speaker will have 5 to 7 minutes to speak. And then we have the table topic segment. Each speaker will have 1 to 2 minutes to speak, and this is where all guests and members are welcome to participate. And then our third and final segment is going to be the evaluation, where each evaluator has 2 to 3 minutes to speak. All have 30 seconds grace period. If any of the speakers and evaluators reach their minimum time, they're going to see this green color on the camera. When they're midway through, they're gonna see the yellow color in front of them. And then when they have reached the maximum time, they're gonna see this friendly glue stick, which is going to remain friendly until you pass the 30 seconds, and you're gonna see this move crazily like this, so you can just wrap up your speech. Thank you so much. Looking forward to your speeches and evaluations. Back to you, TMOD.
Thank you, Alia, for your explanation. To track the good and not so good usage of grammar, we have our grammarian of the day, Toastmaster Kareem Griffith. When I asked him about the things he does to come up with creative ideas, he said the following, and I really liked what he said. Kareem said, I teach children, and they are really inspiring. Sometimes I come up with the most creative ideas when I imagine how a child would approach it. As adults, we can overthink and overcomplicate. Children find simple answers that are unconstrained by the limits of possibility. And sometimes what we imagine as impossible really is not, if we only give it a second thought. I like it very much, Kareem, and I thought we all should sit and listen to you more talk about that. Please, Kareem, explain your rule for today.
Okay, thanks, Ahmed. My role for today is grammarian. As Ahmed said, I will be monitoring the use of grammar and also to introduce a word of the day. And consistent with the theme of creativity, the word for today will be ingenious. And what that means is clever, original, and inventive. So an example of the use of ingenious, an adjective in a sentence, is just when we thought all was lost, my friend and I came up with an ingenious idea or an ingenious solution. So this is the word of the day. If you can, use it in your speeches, table topics at any point in time, and we'll be seeing how often we can use that word throughout the meeting. Thanks, Ahmed. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Okay, thank you, Kareem. After that, yes. To keep track of the ahs and ums, like I'm doing right now during the meeting, we have the ah counter of the day. Toastmaster Amal Kamel. Toastmaster Amal, please explain your role.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. I obviously did not answer your question. I'm sorry about that. I did not have time because
I thought it's a secret, you know. You didn't want to tell me.
Well, it kind of is. It's not. No. It's not a secret. What you do when you want to have a creative idea is no rules. That's why I couldn't write anything to you. I couldn't answer this question because creativity has no rules. Just like this shirt. That's why I'm wearing this shirt. All the colors that do not match, that doesn't make sense, but in the end, it can come up as a beautiful thing. You don't know if it's going to be beautiful or not, but that's what it's going to be. Being creative is not something that you do. It's something that can come in naturally when you have enough information, when you have enough knowledge, then you can get creative with it. You know the knowledge, then you can get creative as you need. It's about the need. When you need more, you'll be more creative. It will just push you to creativity and innovation. That's why I couldn't answer your question. Now to the ad counter. Do you know the police? I'm not talking about the cops. I'm talking about the band. The police said, every breath you take, every move you make, I'll be watching you. That's what the ad counter does. I'll be watching you. I'll be watching your ahs, your ums, your filler words, your likes and so's, all that. I'll be listening and I'll be watching. And in the end of this meeting, I'll be coming back to tell you what you have done. See you then. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Amal. And lucky me, you won't be watching me because I'm the Toastmaster of the day. Now is the time for the first part of our meeting, the prepared speeches. Our first speaker is Yasmin Gabr, and she is at level 3 of Dynamic Leadership Pathway. But before we jump to the speech, her evaluator, Toastmaster Ghada, will give us a brief about Yasmin's project and objectives. When I asked Ghada about the things she does to come up with creative ideas, she said, just a sec, yes, by exploring new side of life through different types of experience, people or communities, which help me to step out of normal ideas and comfort zone. So I guess Ghada hang out with a lot of creative people. Toastmaster Ghada, the virtual platform is yours.
Okay. Dear fellow Toastmasters, good evening. Today, Toastmaster Yasmin will deliver her project under title The Gift of Why. From Pathway Dynamic Leadership, level 3, elective assignment. The given time from 5 to 7 minutes. The purpose of this project is to introduce or to review basic presentation software strategies for creating and using slides to support or enhance a speech. Yasmin, best of luck. Very excited to hear your presentation.
Thank you, Ghada. when I asked Yasmin about the things she does to come up with creative ideas, she said, I most of the time think being observant of the details, thinking out loud with others, exposing myself to a different culture is the key. Okay, Yasmin, thank you for sharing that. Please welcome Yasmin Gabr and her speech, The Gift of Why. The Gift of Why, Yasmin Gabr.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ahmed. Thank you, Toastmaster Ghada. Ghada, you're definitely one of the most artistic and creative people I know. I'll be sharing my screen to be able to give the presentation, so please bear with me while I settle in. Okay, we need to figure out how I can only make myself only my picture there, because it's going to take away from, actually, you know what, I think I can manage. Okay. Okay, here we go. Great. Okay, thank you all for your patience. I really appreciate it. Just checking if everything here is working. Here we go. Okay. Okay, here we go. Good evening, fellow members and guests. I'm Dr. Yasmin Gabr, a general practitioner since 2001. Over 6 months into COVID-19, most of you know by now the who, where, when, and what. Today, I'll be touching upon the why, in hopes that this understanding will help drive the change in behavior needed to protect you and your loved ones. And we'll be doing this through understanding the chain of infection. This diagram has a similar one available on the World Health Organization website if you'd like to check it out. And here we can see 6 points of transmission of infection. If we understand how they happen, then we know how we can intervene and break that chain and thus limit the spread of any disease. If we can start out from the upper right green circle there showing us the germ, we know that COVID-19 is a virus, and thanks to the science of virology, we understand that its type is RNA. That tells us immediately that it's a very weak virus that can't live long outside the body, and therefore just by simply using soap and water and clean our hands and commonly touch surfaces and items, that would be enough to kill the virus. We also know that it's of the corona family, which tells us that it has a greasy envelope, which we also know that if we simply use soap and water once again, or 70% alcohol or diluted bleach, that would be enough to destroy that envelope and thus get rid of the virus. Thanks to the science of epidemiology, we know that any transmissible infection has an R number, and by observing this virus over the past few months, we're able to tell its ability to spread, but then it's also very important to know that human behavior has an impact on this number, and we'll see how right now. So looking at this diagram over here, it tells us in a very clear way that for every person who's infected from this red dot over here, if they infect just 2 other people, those 2 can go on to infect 4 and then 16, and it exponentially grows in that manner. And by taking away any point of contact there, we can limit the spread and thus save the lives downstream by very simple things as avoiding social events and staying at home. We're moving on now to understanding where the germ came from, and we understand that this virus came from a wild animal, and that's why people are told to not eat raw meat these days. And then this is where, as medical providers and scientists, we were all really holding our breath to understand, since this is a new virus, does it have human-to-human transmission, which unfortunately it does, and more importantly, that people who do not show symptoms can still transmit this virus, which was something that was very worrisome as well. And because of that, this is why we're mandating widespread testing and contact tracing. Because if we go back to this diagram once again, anyone who's been in contact with someone who has the virus, simply by isolating them, we can limit the spread to anyone else. Next, we're going to go down to the yellow circle, the orange circle actually right there, how germs get out, and then skipping on to the blue circle, how germs get in. From those circles, we understand the red circle where we came from to understand how they get around, which is the mode of transmission, and actually the most important part of today's talk. So if we do, if we look at the mode of transmission of COVID-19, we know by now that any expired breath could transmit the virus. So specifically talking, singing, laughing, and definitely coughing and sneezing. And that's where wearing a face mask or face shield would really have an impact in limiting its spread. And then being very careful that when we're in closed spaces to always have some kind of ventilation, even if the AC is on, definitely crack open a window to provide that ventilation. This is a very graphic diagram showing the spread of the sneeze or cough. And then this one was actually very interesting, showing that any type of face mask that we wear will actually limit the spread of those droplets in our breath. I'm not sure if this is very obvious, but someone who's wearing their face mask on only their mouth, the flow of air coming out of the nose will still be carrying that virus. So you're not safe around someone who's actually wearing their mask that low down. We've talked about the importance of cleaning our hands and commonly used surfaces and items. I just want to make a point here of people knowing that it's very important to not touch your face, eyes, nose, and mouth. And specifically, if you wear makeup or contacts outside the home, then be very vigilant about not doing that if your hands aren't sanitized or clean. Now, this is a very interesting diagram showing someone who's already washed their hands, and the fluorescent parts are where the virus still exists, or any germs specifically. And that's why the WHO has come up with a very long time ago, actually, with the 7 universal steps of hand washing. If you don't know them by now, please be very keen to learn them, to practice them regularly, specifically when it counts, before eating, after using the bathroom. Things like that, and then also teach it to the kids so they can get really early in on those good habits. So almost wrapping up right now. We're actually going to move to the blue circle about the green circle about how who is exposed to the infection of the virus, and it's actually anyone is possible to contract the virus. Oops, I think I moved ahead of myself. And looking here, knowing that people can have the virus and not show any symptoms, but still pass it along, or may have not showed the symptoms yet. That's why social distancing is highly advised. And ideally, it would be 2 meters. If that's not possible due to tight spaces, then 1 meter plus. We say 1 meter plus. So plus the face mask, plus the ventilation, plus the cleaning of your hands and items that are commonly used. And then definitely, if you've been in touch with someone who may have had the virus or are starting to show symptoms yourself, even if you're not sure yet if they're COVID-19 or not, then definitely isolate yourself for 14 days. This picture here will show you how the droplets can travel from anywhere from 3 to 6 feet. That's why it's important to keep that distance. And then this one right here is very interesting. The people on my left have been exposed to the virus. The people on the right have been not exposed yet. And then that person in the middle who's been exposed but not showing any symptoms is obviously moving very freely around and very unsuspecting. If we just take that person out of the equation, once again, going back to this picture, we're actually limiting the spread of the virus and saving a lot of people down the line. It's very important here to say that our body has a natural ability to fight off viruses, and we would be helping it by enhancing our immunity, specifically through getting enough sleep and drinking enough water. And then it's very important here to mention that things that are really are unfavorable for our immunity are constant stress, smoking, and being overweight. And these are things that we can actually control and reverse. So definitely keep that in mind, please. And then obviously people who have chronic illnesses or are old of age are more susceptible to the complications of the virus. So that's something to please also be very vigilant and careful about. We're done with the chain of infection, all 6 points, and we understand now, hopefully, how if we can break the chain by doing our part. in any one of these three specifically steps. If you remember only your mask, clean your hands, and from others. And with that, I'd like to leave you with this message.
Last year, 161 people died on the roads. What would be a more acceptable number?
Acceptable 70, maybe, probably 70.
70. Actually, this is what 70 people looks like. So now, what do you think would be a more acceptable number?
0. 0.
Authorised by the state government.
So I urge us all to please do our part. Every life counts. Please remember to embrace the change needed to embrace a life. Thank you all very much for your time and attention. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Yasmin, for this wonderful speech. I hope all of us follow these rules or steps to stop the spreading of any virus. And I would like to ask you to share the material because some of the audience was wanted to take notes, but they could not. So that would be wonderful if you share the material with us. And don't get too excited because our second speaker is Toastmaster Hassan. He is at Project 2, Level 1 of his pathway. And before we go to the speech, his evaluator, Toastmaster Rania, will give us a brief about Hassan's project and objectives. When I asked her about the things she does to come up with creative ideas, Rania said, I spend the first 60 minutes of my day, 60 minutes of my day losing in contemplation, trying to adapt and convince myself that the world is for me. And then trying to figure out some solution to my problems and getting many new ideas that fit my needs and plans. So you do it by yourself. Okay, we got it. Please welcome Toastmaster Rania. The virtual stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. And now, fellow Toastmasters, dear guests. Today, Hassan will take us through a very long journey or a destination. I'm still not sure about that, but he will lead us, and I trust him. So please, fasten your seatbelts and enjoy the roller coasters. Hassan's speech is the journey or the destination. His objective is to deliver a speech and receive feedback. He is in Level 1, Project 2. So enjoy the journey, and please help me welcome Hassan. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rania. When I asked Hassan about the things he does to come up with creative ideas, he said, I like to use a combination of writing and drawings my thoughts on a piece of paper. Very simple and specific, visualizing your ideas. Okay. Please welcome Toastmaster Hassan Dia and his speech, The Journey or the Destination. The Journey or the Destination, Hassan Dia. Hello, Hassan. Are you there?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, clearly?
Yes.
Okay. Which is important, the destination or the journey? This is a very old question that bewildered many philosophers. I've been thinking about this question a lot, and I used to believe that destination, the purpose of the destination is to create a powerful journey. So in this talk, I will tell you 3 reasons why I believe that the journey is more important than the destination. Reason number 1, the journey is simply longer than the destination. Think about it. You go to school for 12 years to get the diploma. You go to college for 5 years to get your degree. And if you know that there is a 10-minute speech next week, you spend like many, many days rehearsing and preparing for that speech. So basically, the journey is always longer than the destination. So if you focus on the destination, you just make a very tiny part of your life happy. But if you focus on the journey, you make a huge part of your life happy. Reason number 2 is that simply a destination without a journey is boring. Think about a video game. Imagine if you win a video game without playing. Imagine if you climb a mountain, if you get to the top of the mountain without climbing. Would that be enjoyable? I don't think so. I think that focusing on the journey makes your life much more interesting. And reason number 3 is that focusing on the journey makes you more persistent. Simply because if you focus on the destination, if you face any failure or any difficulty, you see that failure or difficulty as an obstacle to your path. But if you focus on the journey, you just see it as a station, like as a step forward and as part of that journey. So focusing on the journey and enjoying it makes you more persistent. I would like to end with a quote by Greg Anderson. He said that the joy of doing any activity is not finishing it, but doing it. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day, Ahmed.
Okay, I've been muted all that. Are you hearing me well? Okay. Should I start from the beginning or shall I continue? Anyone? Okay, I will start from the beginning. Now, we just finished our first part of the meeting. And before we move to the second part, I'd like to ask our Zoom master to provide us with a poll to choose the best speaker. And during that, we shall continue our exploration of creativity. We as human develop over time two types of thinking: the type of creating solution, generating ideas, and that's where we get creative. And we use that from our early ages. That's why children are the most creative. You know, the second type is the type of criticizing and evaluating ideas, making decisions, and we develop that type as we advance in life through years of education and university, work, experience, you know. The pool, yes. The pool will be finished after 1 minute. Okay. So where were we? Yes, the two types of thinking: generating ideas and criticizing ideas, evaluating them. Generating ideas should be easy. We do that from our early ages, since we were childs. However, it's not the case. The problem is, as we grow up, we develop a way that allow us to generate ideas and evaluate them at the same time. That's what we learned at school and university. And that's where we kill creativity, you know? Okay. We kill creativity, but things are not that bad. You know why? Because it's time for our second part of the meeting, the table topic section, with our awesome table topic master, Ashraf Yusuf. When I asked him about the things he does to come up with creative ideas, okay, he said, my greatest ideas come at night. They come as I'm trying to sleep or while I'm actually sleeping, which why I keep notepad at my bed. LOL. Okay, great advice, Ashraf. Please welcome our table topic master, Ashraf Yusuf.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the table topic section. This is a chance for everyone in this meeting to have the chance to speak and express your fears of public and face your fears of public speaking. I see a lot of awesome faces. I see Yasmin and Mustafa are together, which is interesting for me. Hi guys. I see Ahmed Salah. I see Kareem Griffith. I see Murad. I want to see more faces. Where is the other half of the team? Where is everyone? Enable the thing. Enable the cameras. It is time for the table topic section. I will give, today we have pictures. I will share my screen now and we will talk about each picture, and everyone who will speak will have a comment and give a comment on what they think of this picture. This is a thought-provoking thing. So, who wants to go first? Raise your hands. Raise it up high in the sky. I do not see anyone. Raise your hands. Okay, Mustafa. Our first volunteer is Mustafa Gabr. Now I will share my screen and we will see what we have for today. So, pictures. The first picture we have an egg who is walking and he looks happy. Oops. The egg hits a tree. The egg breaks, exposing the shell, exposing the inner core. The inner core is sad and feels hurt. Mustafa, please give us your comment on this picture.
Thank you very much, Mr. Table Topics Master. Greetings from Cairo this time. Usually, as we all know, it's Humpty Dumpty falling off of the wall and not hitting the tree branch, which is, to my surprise, it is something that is very unique to what happened this time. If Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall, he usually cracks into two halves. He doesn't expose his yolk. But because of the unique circumstance today of what happened, the egg yolk got exposed, which is usually can be embarrassing for some people. Not many want their yolks to be exposed. But Humpty Dumpty thinks this time exposing his yolk was an opportunity for him to expose whatever's inside, show it out to the world, and see what happens. Maybe that's an opportunity for him to be able to work on his weak points, make them stronger, become a stronger person, become a better person. Maybe that's an opportunity for others to see him from his weak side, to see his yolk side. Maybe it's opportunity for him to just be himself, be free, and that would definitely make a stronger Humpty Dumpty from himself. And thank you very much for you, Mr. Tabletop Master.
Thank you, Mustafa. Who wants to go next? Raise your hands. Raise your hands. Who wants to go? Yes. Murad, I saw you raising your hand. All right. Our next person up is Murad. Let me share my screen now. Our next picture is the comfort zone, a giant fence of fear, the big wall of excuses, a social norm watch tower, looking for social norms for it to replicate and just imitate. And there is free Wi-Fi inside. Your comments, sir.
Thank you, Ashraf. There is the free Wi-Fi inside, so I cannot believe I cannot escape. So I'm not starting yet. So, Ashraf, can I ask something? So I'm inside, but I cannot go out. Yeah, I'm not. Is that the idea?
Does the picture give you an idea of what you do in real life?
Okay. So what I used to do, I used to be like most people, being afraid of trying something new, of getting out of the comfort zone. Believe that today it might be difficult because if before we didn't have the Wi-Fi escape, and if we had, especially if we had to survive, we had to escape and escape our comfort zone. Today with the Wi-Fi, we can stay within the walls and believe that through internet, social media, we are trying something new. We are using developers and acquiring new skills. But I would say that this is a lie. We lie to ourselves, and we must be not afraid of escaping the comfort. What the problem with the comfort zone is that sometimes we are afraid of the unknown. So what's behind the unknown? It's first, we don't know what's happening. So it's fair that we're afraid, but we might be also afraid of what people will think of us. For example, I gave a great speech. Everybody liked it. So I'm afraid next week or in 2 weeks' time to give another speech because maybe I won't do that good compared to today, and I will disappoint people. So I believe that we should not be afraid. We should not be afraid of the unknown zone, that is the learning zone, and we should not be afraid of what other people will think, because this is actually both we are building in our own mind.
Thank you, Murad. Our next runner-up is Mohit. or Mo It, he will give us our next presentation. So our next picture up is, there is a boy on a bicycle. He looks to his right and he sees a very expensive car. In it, a boy in a similar age. The boy they both look at each other. One thinks, wow, I want to be inside the expensive, well-made car. But the boy in the wheelchair also thinks, wow, I want to feel free and I want to ride the bicycle like the other guy. Please give us your comments.
Hi everyone, it's Mohit here, all the way from India, and I got the link via my online announcements group that we have made, particularly for the online meetings. And thank you so much, Ashraf, for this amazing topic. Life is all about satisfaction. The moment you become satisfied, you get each and everything which you aspire for. Now, herein we see two parallel lives. Both of them might be going to the same destination, school, but one is fortunate enough to have an amazing car, such a super duper car, and the second one is might be pretty unfortunate and he might not be having a really good car, so he's in a bicycle. So the person in the car thinks that the one who is in bicycle has got a lot more autonomy. He has got freedom to clash with the air, and he has got the autonomy in his life, and there's no driver which is leading him. He's his own leader. He's the one who is leading the bicycle. He's going to lead the way. And at the same time, we have got the person who is in the car and he feels that he is being bound by the whims of the driver. The driver is going to put him to an appropriate destination. So in the very same way, both of them are jealous of each other, and both of them think that the other one is fortunate enough to have something in his life. So this is what the life is all about. Rather than seeing someone else and being jealous of their achievements, their blessings, we should count our own blessings and we should be happy with what we are endowed with. The day we endow and bestow ourselves with the satisfaction from whatever we have got, we derive the full satisfaction, and we count our blessings, we are definitely going to trod on the path of success. Thank you so much. Over to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much, Mohit. Yes, I believe that in every word that we look, there is someone who is better off in a way than us in a different way. But if we keep thinking, I want to be like him, I'm not good enough, I want to have what he has, we will always be searching for the next best thing for the rest of our lives. So it is good to look at what we have, look at where we stand, and think, wow, I have a lot and I should be grateful for what I have. All right, who wants to go next? Raise your hands. Can we have Maryam Safwat? Yes, sure. Can you please enable your camera? Yay, awesome.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, Maryam. Hello.
This is my first time to participate in Toastmaster, and I'm excited to be with you guys. You're cool people, so I'm excited to know to get introduced to new cool people like you. So I'm excited.
Welcome, Maryam. All right, let's see the pictures. Our next picture is we have two roads. One is the perception. This is the road to success. We think that the road is straight and easy to climb. We don't think that it is hard to, there's a lot of like problems and such. We think that every failure has a warning sign on it and that we should not cross it. But in reality, on the picture on the right, we see lots of twists and turns. There are lots of danger zones that are not properly signed, and the road is longer and harder to cross. Mariam, please give us your comments.
Okay, when I was a kid, I imagined that success is like the first picture. It's direct and everything will come true easily and in no time. But when I grow up and I found that it's not what I thought of, the first obstacle I faced, I thought, oh, I'm a loser. How can I get some obstacles like that? Or I'm unlucky. But after the first obstacle, I discovered that I've grown up, I've learned a lot, and I was thankful for the hardships that I passed through. So I was actually excited for the next obstacle or the next hardship, and I found out it's a game. It would be boring, like the talk that we had. Be boring if the road to success was straightforward, and it was much more exciting to be like the reality. So life is a game, and enjoy the game, and learn as much as you can. Okay, I'm done.
Thank you, Mariam. Excellent, excellent work. All right. Who is up? Who is the next person? Do we have time? How many more do we have, Mr. Timer? Or Mrs. Timer? Alia. Yes.
Okay, so it's 8:12. We can have a few more.
All right.
I'll do crazy move if we're like done and we can't take any more.
Excellent. Okay. Who wants to go next? Can we have another guest, please? Another guest, another guest. Muhammad Il SH. I don't see his name. I think it's Said. No. Anyway, please, yes.
Muhammad Al Shawaf. Yeah, exactly. This is the second time to join Cairo Toastmaster Club. The first one, it's offline as it's preferable. I think that was at 2017 when I was a student in university, and nowadays I am a petroleum engineer at Khalda Petroleum Company. And when I see that you send me a WhatsApp or a link for Zoom, I don't hesitate to join this one of greatest things or greatest clubs that I can learn public speaking through it. That is very, very good opportunity for me.
Thank you, Muhammad. Let us go dive into the topic of today.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I have closed PowerPoint. I have to open it up again. Okay. Share.
Yeah, take your time.
All right. The next picture that we have a successful performer. He is juggling 5 plates, glass plates, and he has an audience in front of him. But if you look behind, he has hundreds and hundreds of broken glass, broken plates behind him left in his trail. So
Yeah.
please tell us what you think.
Yeah, that is the main thing that Hassan have told us about it, and Mariam have told us that it's about the journey, not about the end story or the end picture that you see. That is a fake story for all of us that you can see, especially for success stories or moral or motivational speeches, that you see the final picture of success man's or like Bill Gates or something like that, and you take the energy that I will go ahead and I will take the actions towards to succeed in this field like anyone. But unfortunately, that is the fake one, the fake story. You need to see behind what's behind the scenes. especially you have a lot of efforts that you can make to reach this stage, especially it's about your trial, it's about your journey, it's about your work and efforts and your nights that you take during your work or something like that. So don't be have a fake story or have a fake picture that you see that is easy to be made, but not seeing what's behind the scenes. And don't make it easy for anyone that I can make this, but especially you can make this after you have the same training. I have exposed with someone like that. He working to play with balls in front of people, and he told me that he have a practicing for more than 3 days, working for 16 hours per day to have this great or something like that for 1 minute of working. So don't see or don't watch only the final picture of that. Especially it's a great opportunity to see that in the public speaking of presentation. You prepare yourself for 10 minutes, you can prepare yourself for 1 week of preparation. So go ahead for the big things that you can achieve. So the final word, you need to see what behind the scenes, not the final picture. Thank you.
Thank you, Muhammad. Who wants to go? Oh, I believe Mayar wants to go next. Mayar, please raise your hand or clap. Oh, there you are. Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
It's already raised from the very beginning, by the way.
No problem. I see. I see. Anyway, let us jump right into the pictures. We have a candle. A candle is brightly lit, and we have hundreds and hundreds of other candles who are exactly similar in every way to this candle. But one has realized its potential and decided to light and use what it has, and the others are only watching. Your comments.
Okay. Actually, this reminds me of a story. I had one of my students. He was really hesitant about his personality, and many people told him that he's not really good enough. But when we talked together, I found so many potential in him and skills, and he was capable of many things. I felt that. I talked to him and I told him that life is a choice. You either choose to be a leader or you choose to be a follower. So it's your choice, it's your call, you have to choose. He was so enthusiastic, he was so motivated that he told me, yes, doctor, I think I have to choose to be a leader. And from that time, I found him excelling in his studies, excelling in his attendance and his grades, and he became so different. I saw him a couple of years ago, and he told me, I still recall your words. I'm a manager at a very reputable bank, and your words kept me alive forever. So I believe that really life is a choice. You either choose to be a leader, and if you choose to be a leader, you have to know that there are sacrifices, there are hardships, there are ups and downs, there are challenges in your life. And it's easy to be a follower, by the way, because many people follow the crowd, but only one that leads the crowd. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayar. Thank you so much. All right, who wants to go next? Please raise your hands. Anyone else? Raise, please. Okay, Kareem. All right, brother. It is time to share my screen for the 20th time. All right, now we have quotes. I think I ran out of pictures, so I just decided to put quotes in. So, be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter do not mind. Your thought?
Thank you, Ashraf, for the topic and for the quote. This is not the first time I've heard it, but for some reason, it rings a little differently this evening. And what comes to mind is, firstly, how important it is to be oneself in the first place. How important that is to express yourself, to connect with your feelings and your thoughts and your purpose. Because ultimately, I mean, what matters most is how we feel about ourselves. And if I don't say, if I am not honest, if I'm not authentic, then I am really putting myself down in the worst possible way. I'm denying who I am. I'm denying what I feel, what is inside of me. And that does neither of us any favors. So people who care, people who matter, would appreciate that you have a duty to shine, to be that light in the world, and not to stand aside in the darkness because you feel that there's another candle over there who might not like it. So it does the world no good, and it really takes away from our lives and from the lives of everyone else. So I think this quote is true, and I think how we feel about ourselves really is one of the most important things in the world and in our experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kareem. Our next volunteer, please raise your hand. Of course, Mr. All right, let me share my screen. Too many of us are not living our dreams because we are living our fears and failures. Go ahead.
Some people think that to overcome fear, we need confidence. But that's not true. Because confidence can easily disappear. One day you wake up, you don't feel good. If you're walking into a dark room, you would need confidence, right? Because you don't know, maybe there's a snake, maybe there's a pit you're going to fall in, maybe Ashraf is sitting in the corner waiting for you. So it's difficult, it's dark, you don't know what's gonna happen, right? So you need confidence to go into that room. But if the light is turned on and you can see everything, so you can see there's a couch, there's a PlayStation, a desk, some coffee, would you need confidence in this situation? You think you need confidence? You wouldn't, because you could see things clearly, so you can see, oh, there's no threat. And because there's no threat and nothing dangerous in the room, you don't need confidence at all. The necessity of confidence is due to the existence of fear. It's because we feel afraid, now we need confidence, because we don't know what's gonna happen, what's next, what's in the dark. But the moment the lights are on, confidence is no longer necessary. So I think you don't need confidence, my friends, you need clarity. Clarity is above confidence, because if you can see reality as it is, then you're not stepping in the dark, you're not jumping into the abyss, so you don't need confidence. And that's why I say, if you see reality as it is, you realize that mistakes are part of the process, failures are meant to happen. If you think about it, human beings are a big walking pile of mistakes. Yesterday, you might have lost your temper when you're talking to your mother. You might have eaten a chocolate cake that you swore to yourself that you wouldn't eat. You might have spent 3 hours watching Netflix, postponing your work and saying tomorrow I will start, right? We've all done those things. Well, mistakes happen. The important thing is to keep going and realize that we all make mistakes and not beat ourselves up for it because we're experts at that. So keep moving forward. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Mr. Amr, I am the table topics master. I do not accept your mistake. Okay, thank you. All right, Mrs. Timer, do we have time? No, we do not. Why are you doing this? Is it that? Does that mean no? Yes, that's it. Okay. All right, that is it for our section. To be honest, I love this section extremely, and I want to do it again and again. And I hope to see you all in the next meeting, inshallah. Thank you all. This is Ashraf, and back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Okay, thank you, Ashraf. And wow, guys, you made this part of the meeting way better than I ever imagined. Now we just finished our awesome table topic session. I would like to ask our Zoom master to provide us with the poll to choose the best table topic speaker. And while we do that, I will tell you how I come up with ideas since I killed my creativity years ago. I always had, so please, Toastmaster of the Day, provide us with the poll.
Okay, 1 second. Can I just repeat who attended this table? Ismail, Muhammad, Kareem, Amr, Miriam, and Mohit. Anyone else?
Okay, Ashraf, can you review what he said?
I believe there's also Murad and Moted or Modit.
Yeah, Mohit, yeah, and Murad.
Yes, and there's Mayar and there's Maryam and there's Amr, there's Kareem Griffith also.
Muhammad, yeah. Okay, okay, one second.
Shawad. Oh, and Mustafa Gab.
Mustafa Gab. Okay.
All right.
Okay. While our Toastmaster preparing the poll, I will tell you what I did after I killed my creativity years ago. Okay, I always had a conviction that I should start where others stop. If you want to make a design, a new thing, to design a new thing or solve a problem, let's call that thing X. Start searching how other people made this X before. It's not like you are the first one who's gonna make that. So you should start from where they stop and gather a lot of ideas. The more is the better. The more is the better. A lot of ideas. If X is a big problem, okay, here is the poll. Yes. So if X is a big problem, you may need to break it down to a smaller problem and tackle each one individually. Then the important part is to mix it up. List all the ideas you had, try to mix it up together and come up with a new thing, a new idea. And if it's suitable, and see if it's suitable for what you want. Hyper, but new. And most importantly, kind of creative. I try to do that each time I think I need to be creative. I use my type of thinking, my evaluation bar to organize things and let the creative part of generating ideas to work in the small thing that the other type provide. Okay. Is the poll is done?
Yes, it's done. Yeah, I will send to you the result. Yeah.
Okay. Where are you going? Yes, I am talking to you. Now we have managed to get to the last part of our meeting, the evaluation section, where we highlight the good things we did and also the good things we might need to develop with our general evaluator, Toastmaster Kareem Wahdan. When I asked him about the things he does to come up with creative ideas, Kareem said three things. I get off the grid, I breathe, and I focus. Good for you, Toastmaster Kareem Wahdan. The stage is yours. Toastmaster Kareem. Are you there?
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Ahmed.
Where are you, Kareem?
I'm here. I was muted all that time. Thank you so much, and welcome everyone to the evaluation part, one of the best parts of our meeting. And today, I'll be the general evaluator. So I wanted to say, I wanted to give you a little bit of an advice before I go into the evaluation section. So creativity is not exclusive to the musicians and the artists and the extroverts and the highest graders and all of those people. Creativity is inside each and every one of us. Each and every one of us is creative in his or her own way. So please never tell yourself that you're not creative. Never allow anyone to tell you that you're not creative. You are creative and you are creativity. So starting off the evaluation section, we have our first evaluator for the day, Ghada Al-Sharawi, who will be evaluating Yasmin Gob's speech. So without further ado, please, Ghada, go ahead.
Dear fellow Toastmasters and guests, hi again. First, big applause for Yasmin's speech. I would like to remind you with the purpose of the speech, the gift of why. The purpose of the project is to introduce or review basic presentation software strategies using slides to support or enhance a speech. Yasmin chose informative style for her speech, and her work, background, and experience support her very well. In my evaluation, I will start with clarity. Actually, it appears in the speech that it was very clear, starting from the topic to the message to the closing, how she moves from idea to another, from slide to another. The topic was about COVID-19, which is very familiar to everyone nowadays, and she gave us simple information and help audience to get engaged, engaged and get higher awareness about the topic. Regarding the language, she used a very simple language. It was understood. She excelled a good vocal variety from using her tone of voice, her speech, although I can suggest use different speech a little bit according to the speech contest. She appeared comfortable to the message she had delivered, very confident, and her voice was very calm. Yasmin had a challenge during her speech that she's supposed to use a software and on Zoom, but she succeeded to do that, and it was very clear to us. She can use a program and move from slide to another. The design was very nice. The color was were very selective. Although I suggest to use a larger font size to make it very more clear to the audience. I like so much how she closed her speech. The closure was very powerful. The message or the advice or slogan was very nice to leave the audience with it at the end of the speech. Thank you, Yasmin, very much. And looking forward for more successful speeches. Thank you.
Thank you for unmuting me again. And thank you, Ghada, for the amazing evaluation. Let's move on to our second evaluator for the day, our VP for membership, the awesome Rania Leila, evaluating Hassan's journey or the destination speech. Please go ahead. I think you unmuted me instead of Ghada. Instead of Rania, sorry.
Thank you so much, Ahmed, for giving me the chance to speak. Thank you so much. And now, joy is found not in finishing an activity, but in doing it. That was so powerful and profound, Hassan. I liked your speech so much. It was very incredible. The speech was so organized from you started with a question, like a hoop, to engage your audience, and the body of your speech was about a comparison, not a comparison. You stated like 3 reasons why destination is more valuable, why journey is more valuable or is better than the destination, and you finished with this incredible quote. However, you stated 2 questions to engage your audience, right? One at the beginning and one like in the middle, just before the end. And I like them so much. But you didn't give some time to your audience to respond. Like, I want to answer, please give me some time. But you didn't do this. You just start a way to answer them. So I just suggest next time when you state a question to with your audience or to engage your audience, just pause for a couple of seconds, maybe like 3 or 4 seconds, to give them the chance to think about it, to like collect or to gather their thoughts to know the answer, just to answer this question inside of them. Okay, but rather than that, it was a great thing. Your smile was perfect on the screen. You maintain your beautiful smile throughout your speech, and your eye contact was really great one. And yes, your vocal variety was very clear and good. Your volume, pitch, and rate was were reasonable, and you maintained your eye contact, as I said before. I suggest to show more facial expressions to just show your interest in your speech. It's really important to show some facial expression. Yes, you maintained your smile, and that was perfect, but you maintained just do something with your, I don't know, with your facial expressions in general that will add more value and add more power to your speech as well, and to your message that's delivered to your audience. And to wrap it up, it was really incredible, great speech. I liked so much, and I agree with you that journey is better or is more valuable than destination, and you should focus on your journey to reach your goal. Thank you so much. Keep it up, and all the best in your next speeches. Thank you, Hassan. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Karim, are you there? Okay, you are muted.
Thank you so much for the amazing unmute, Mr. Ahmed. Now we are, so thank you, Rania, for the amazing feedback. And now it's time for the GTA report, or the GTA team. So let's start with our grammarian for the day, the one with the awesome and cool last name, Karim Griffith. Please unmute him.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kareem. This may be on me because I don't recall hearing the word of the day or any ingenious uses of it. So I will just repeat it in case also it was perhaps not clear at the outset. The use of ingenious to mean cleverly inventive. It's a really dynamic and useful adjective. So as we wrap up on the theme of creativity, I'll remind us all of it as a useful word we can include in our vocabularies. In terms of grammar, there were two things that I'd want to just remind everyone of, because I don't even think it's a matter of knowing or not knowing. I've been learning Arabic, and I've realized just how flexible a verb amil is. And you can use it to make anything you want. Or in English, make is not as flexible. And so you want to remember that we do things. And the verb do is often replaced by make. So I heard this a few times, and so I just want to remind everyone that make is used in usually in creative activities, when the act of doing things is usually doing actions, it usually goes with do. So I think that's the point I'll stick with on the grammar that I noticed. And apart from that, really, it was only a couple of times, and that's it for the grammar in the evening. Back to you, Ms. Toastmaster Kareem.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kareem, for the amazing grammarian report. Now it's time for the creative timer to tell us the timing of each person and each speech. Alia Atiyah. Where did she go?
Thank you, our awesome general evaluator. So, where do I start? The prepared speakers were supposed to speak for 5 to 7 minutes each. If we really took this seriously, both are disqualified. But let's be more flexible, because their content was good. They put in a lot of effort into this, so of course they deserve to be praised. Yasmin, you spoke for 9 minutes, 30 seconds. I had the glue stick going like this. It was about to fly off my hand. But good job. Hassan, you spoke for 3 minutes, 12 seconds. So like we have two extremes, overtime and under time. But no worries, great job, guys. And then moving on to the table topics segment, each speaker was supposed to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. I'm so proud of you all. You actually stuck to the time limit. We had Mustafa Gabr, our first table topic speaker, 1 minute, 27 seconds. Murad Wasti, 2 minutes, 29 seconds. Mohit from India, greetings to India, 1 minute, 51 seconds. Mariam Safwat, 1 minute, 26 seconds. Muhammad Al-Shawaf, 2 minutes, 13 seconds. Mayar Sayed, 1 minute, 25 seconds. Karim Griffith, 2 minutes. And Amr Al-Duh, 2 minutes, 17 seconds. Now, finally, moving on to the last and final segment, which is the evaluation, which of course, I'm also glad that they stuck to the time limit as well. We had our first evaluator, Ghada Sharawi. She spoke for 2 minutes 49 seconds, and Rania Leila spoke for 2 minutes 36 seconds. It's okay, Rania, you did well. Each one of them had 2 to 3 minutes to speak with 30 seconds grace period, which they did well. It was a pleasure to be your timer for today. Great seeing you all as usual, and thank you. Back to you, our general evaluator.
Thank you, Alia, and thanks for the amazing glow stick that kept moving that way to announce the time. Now for the last member of the tag team, the counter, the awesome Amel Kamel, sorry. Amel Kamel.
Hey, I'm back. I told you I'll be back in the end of the meeting to give you the evaluation for the account. I told you that I'll be watching you, and I was watching you. Now I'll give you the report. Yasmin Gabr, it was 7 ahs, 2 oops, and 5 ums. Hassan, 0 ahs. Congratulations, Hassan. As for the table topics, Mustafa Gabr, only 2 ahs. Murad, 3 ahs, 3 repeated ands, and 3 repeated the. You repeated those words so many times, the, or and. Mohit, 0 ahs. Congratulations, Mohit. Mariam, 4 ahs and 3 so's. Muhammad al-Shawaf, 5 ahs and 4, 2, and 3 this on repeatedly. Mayar, 3 ahs. Kareem Griffith, 0. Amr, no surprise there, 0 ahs as well. And then to the evaluators, Ghada, only 2 ahs, and Rania, 0 ahs. Congratulations, Rania. And that was the report for the counter, and back to Toastmaster Kareem Wahdan, our general evaluator.
Thank you so much, Amal. And now it's time for the general evaluator report for the day. So we started the meeting at 7:17. Very considerable, very good. And Ahmad, you did a great job as the Toastmaster of the day. You moved seamlessly between each section, regardless of some technical hiccups, but overall, you did an amazing job. And for that, of course, Murad, the Sergeant at Arms, I think you should be an actor. You have such a really good spirit in talking and really good spirit in presenting. Our President Dina, amazing as usual. So to move on to the introduction of the tag team, I would have loved if the word of the day would have written in the chat box so that the people would get to see it and know it, not just listen to it. And then moving on to, yes, Ghada and Rania, you both introduced your speakers very comprehensively and very like you knew what to say exactly. And then moving on to the table topics. Table topic section with Ashraf, it was a really nice and creative twist using the pictures. The pictures give like a new dimension to the table topics of how can we actually do an impromptu speech. Props to Muhammad al-Shawaf for referencing 2 speeches before him. He's a guest with us. And Ashraf also monitored the time and kept monitoring the time and asking Alia effectively. So that was really good. And guests were invited to participate for the evaluation sections. So Ghada, your evaluation was great. However, we there could have been more development points being said for Hassan. So yeah, I saw he did the sandwich technique, but the development points were a bit just a little bit missing. So next time maybe you can stress on that and don't be afraid to touch on that. Rania, amazing evaluation, telling or stating out the good parts and the development points needed. Kareem, for the grammarian report, you actually, it's the first time for me to see someone actually talking about the grammar for a while in the meetings. So that was really cool. The word of the day, unfortunately, no one used it. But again, next time let's try to type it. Maybe people, or actually maybe you can even put it like our header in the Zoom screen. Okay, and then Alia, of course, very creative with the timer role. She kept using different objects, and she complemented her yellow notebook with the yellow marker. And then when the time turned red, she kept waving around her glue stick. And it was really funny, and it was really attention grabbing for any speaker, I think. And Amal, amazing speech as usual. Amazing counter evaluation. I would like to thank you all so much for attending today, and moving on to the next topic of our meeting, the creativity toolkit with Galal Zaki. Back to you, Toastmasters of the day. Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Kareem, for a second there. I think it's not the Cairo Toastmaster meeting if we did not forget the poll. The evaluators pool, the pool for the best evaluators. So I would like to ask our awesome Toastmaster, Zoom Master Hani, to provide us with the pool for the best evaluator. If you are able to do that.
Hi. Yes, yes, Ahmed is showing.
Oh, okay, the poll is up now.
Yeah, I think you see it now.
Yes. Okay. Now we managed to get to the last part of our meeting. Thank you, Kareem, and your team for this beneficial evaluation. And after we conduct the poll, we will announce the best speaker, the best table topic, and the best evaluator. Okay. Just a sec. Speaker, please. Okay. And now for the best speaker. Let me hear a drum roll or something. The best speaker goes to Hassan Diya. Okay. I see ahaha on the chat. Congratulations, Hassan. You did an amazing job. And for the table topic speaker, the best table topic speaker, I don't know, but Hassan. Okay, congratulations, Hassan. I don't know who is. I think we are mistaken here. We did a mistake here. Someone sent me a wrong name, so it's Okay, congratulations, not Hassan. And the best evaluator. Let me share screen. The best evaluator is Rania Leila. Congratulations, Rania. Keep up the good work. And we learned from that that I should not conduct the award section again. Okay, before we go, I will leave you with a special part associated with the theme of the day. He could not wrap up his experience with creativity in a sentence. So he decided to tell you in 15 minutes about his creativity toolkit. Toastmaster Galal Zaki, please help me welcome him. The stage is yours. Okay, Toastmaster Galal, are you there?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Is it possible for me to share my screen? Can you see my screen?
We were able to see your screen, but now
we will. Not right now.
Okay. Okay. Everybody see that? Okay. My name is Galal Zaki, and creativity is an ingenious topic, to use the word of the day for the first time. Since I was very young, I never knew if I was creative or not. Many people don't know. Karim, you mentioned something about everybody. You don't need to be in the art or whatever to become a creative person. Amal, I must disagree with you in my field. I started my work in creativity by telling jokes to attract girls. I used to tell jokes, and I would love to have 11, 12 girlfriends madly in love with me. And I didn't know I was creative. And I got kicked out of many universities and schools and got married to this girl because I was creative. We didn't have social media, and the three fastest ways of spreading news were telephone, telegram, and tell a girl. So I went to her best friend. I said, I'm madly in love with your friend, but please don't tell her. Anyway, I finished university and I got always hired because I used to tell jokes. And Tariq Noor, a famous person in advertising, was just starting his agency. And he said, Galal, I want you to become a creative director. I said, what does that mean? He said, I want you to give me funny ideas to turn into television commercials. Okay, so I'm going to be talking to you about, I'm going to share with you If you'll allow me, I have this whole presentation that I sent to Alia that you can all have access to on anybody can become creative. And I'm talking from the perspective of trying to sell a product or a service or change behavior in communication, in the business that I went into. We have something called, it's not creative if it doesn't sell. They had a chicken bouillon commercial with chickens talking to each other in rhyme. Everybody loved the ad. And when you tell them what are they selling, they tell you Maggie, no it wasn't. They tell you Queen, no it wasn't. They tell you fine foods, no it wasn't. It was Knorr. So it's not creative if it doesn't sell. A camel is originally a horse designed by a committee. Also, you can't have everybody, somebody has to say it's going to be this way, all right? So regarding rules, there are no rules, Amal, and there are rules. I'm going to take you very quickly through some of the creative toolkit ideas, but how do you start to come up with a big idea? There's brainstorming, which we all know. Mind mapping, I'll show you the slide, I showed it to you before. When you put the main idea and then anything that can lead to coming up with a big idea. The next thing I'd like to say is free writing. And I taught in the States at university English, and I got the students to write for 1 minute free writing on any topic they wanted. And the rules are, you're not allowed to stop writing for a second. And the second thing is, I don't see it as their professor. And so they can write anything, but they have to also keep it on file for the whole year. And the 1 minute goes up to 5 minutes. And it's incredible how when you tell them to stop, they continue to write. So for example, if you don't know what to say, you say, I don't know what to say, red, blue, green. Mommy shouted at me today. So you keep writing. And that's an incredible way of getting yourself to become flexible. The creative toolkit and some of the rules, Amal, tell me quick and tell me true, or else, my friend, the hell with you. If you're trying to communicate and sell a product in 30 seconds or 10 seconds, you have to tell me quickly. There's another WIIFM. It's not a radio station. It's what's in it for me. So you have to look at what the people are interested in. If it's a woman who's worried about her weight, how you can eat as much as you want and not grow fat. So what's in it for the consumer? Okay, so I'll just quickly go through. Oh, I also want to tell you about something. I came out in this ad. It was for an edible oil called Sila, and I broke the rules of advertising and communication. I convinced my client I would do an ad that would not show the product, an ad, television ad that would not mention the name of the product, and the ad would encourage consumers to go and buy competitive products. And I told the guy, I'm going to do the ad, I'm going to pre-test it, and if it works, we have to go down with it. We did it. He called me 7 weeks later and said, Galal, please stop the ad. I've sold out. And I'll tell you all about it. It's what I learned from The Secret of Schweppes when I was working with Tariq Noor at the time. Okay, so starting off with without words. What is the unique thing about your product or service that you want to show? Here, you have a visual of a big pencil, and they also did the video for it in 10 seconds, and that sign says infinity. So it means the pencil is going to keep writing. Again, the four-wheel drive of Ford. Look at the road, and then he's going off. So you're not selling a car, you're selling adventure, you're selling running away from your wife. Another visual, the ice is going crazy about wanting to jump into the Pepsi thing. The second thing is mixing and matching. Here, it's written in Dutch. We may not understand it, but we can feel that fish is fresh. Again, tobacco kills more than heroin and cocaine together. I'm going to run through all these things. Juxtaposition. This is for the Head and Shoulders. There's one side that has something on it, and if you look at the letters, it says before. And then after that, when they use, there's no dandruff. Okay. Repetition, okay. Here again, Nescafe, so you can show it's any time of the day you can have those cups. Tibet, again, the Swiss Tibetan Friendship Societies, that's the sign of the Swiss, the cross, but also it's the sign of a grave, and at the end you see Tibet. Exactly. So, for example, Volkswagen is known as a small car, but they have a bus, and here it says rear seat, passenger seat, baggage. It makes it look, again, for Thomson television white screens, look at the sofa that you have to sit on. Turn it right around. This is an incredible way of being creative. Look, the visual is, what is this? A zebra running after a panther, and then underneath it you find Toastmasters vitamins. So anybody, it's Enervit, but I'm saying I could just change that into Toastmasters vitamins that made this. Omission and suggestion. Okay, here, M&Ms, and it says there's no M here and no M here. It just won't be complete without M&M. Okay, for the millennium. Paradoxes, annoy, this is an FM radio. Annoy the neighbors and turn it down. You know, usually people get annoyed when you turn up your radio, but because it's such a wonderful channel, you're annoying them by turning it down. Shock tactics. I'm against this because advertising and literature are the same, the mirror and the lamp. This is what we look like, and this is how we should guide people. It's not good to say, read this, you piece of shit. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm just gonna go through it very quickly. Again, see, they're queuing up just because they love this toast, those toasted. Again, the egg is done, it loves the sausage. So I'm going to be leaving these with Alia, and if there are any questions, I wanted to say, somebody was talking about the journey is, the journey and the destination, right? The Singapore Airlines had a slogan, the journey is the destination. And they had the Singapore girl, because it was inside the plane going, they treated you like a king or a queen, and they won an award and were put in Madame Tussauds Wax Museum in London. The journey is the destination. Regarding creativity, I used to get creative ideas at night, and then I said, do it in the morning. I wake up in the morning, I forget. So for me, you have to write it down as the moment you get it. Again, fast food, McDrive. Again, things that, ideas, using the visuals to say the word ideas, Palm Springs, altering the product. So I'm sure you like these things, guys. And thank you for giving me the time to be with you. Thank you. Back to you, sir. I don't know how to. Okay. Thank you. Sorry, I'm not IT literate. So is it okay now?
Did the TMOD fall asleep or something?
No.
I'm with you, bro.
Sorry for that, but I had a technical issue with the mobile. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Galal. And I agree with you. To be creative, there is a tool to help you to do that. in your business, to get more ideas, new ideas. I hope you all liked our little flavor of the meeting. I really enjoyed your presence, and as usual, I will hand the mic to our awesome president to close the meeting. So, President, finally, the stage is yours. Okay, are you hearing me?
Thank you so much, Ahmed. Creativity is contagious. Pass it on. And I think I don't just speak for myself, but I speak for everybody else when I say that Ahmed did an incredible job passing on creativity this evening. So thank you so much for such a wonderful theme. We appreciate it so much. I think everybody showed that they can potentially be creative beyond measure. Ashraf, I loved your section. Absolutely engaging with the visuals and the quotes. So hats off. Also, Gilgit, thank you so much for the great tip of the day. You always teach us so much, and we can never get enough of learning so much from you and your creative experience. So again, thank you so much for your commitment and always taking the time to creatively enlighten us. And before I conclude this meeting, I would just like to share a small quote that I love very much. It says, "The human spirit lives on creativity and dies in conformity and routine." Again, thank you so much, everybody. It was such a fruitful meeting, and we'll see you all next week.
Hello, Hani.
Hello. Hi, Ahmed.
Hi, Hani.
Hi, how are you?
How are you? I've been into the breakout room alone, so I kicked myself out.
Or maybe other people did not join.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
So, how did you find the experience of the Zoom Master?
Well, this is my first experience. It's okay. It's nice. يعني
Is it hard?
No, it's easy. It's easy, but you need to get used
You need to
on it.
focus, you know?